everybody. Sorry I'm slightly late. Oh, 30 seconds, give or take. Sorry, I was having trouble with my camera. It wasn't cooperating very well here. Whoops! Let me fix something here. There. Now it should behave itself. Hey, Nancy! How are things in Ava, Wisconsin? Anyway, just maybe a short video. I don't know how short, but I'm going to talk about a few things. It's Monday, February 19th, and it's currently we're getting rain here. Pretty good. Atmospheric storm is still hitting California. Those poor guys. Good. Good. Well, get some vitamin D if you can. The only the only drawback for me is that I'm on medication, and they said don't be in sunlight too long. So, you're darned if you do, and you're darned if you don't. So anyway, as you know, over the weekend, Trumpy got smacked last Friday with a well over $553 million fine, fraud trial fine, which adds up to, I don't know, counting E.G. Carroll's fine and of course, well, the two fines from E.G. Carroll's two defamation suits is over $500 million. And of course, a corporate death penalty's been commenced. There will be a monitor. Judge, the I forgot what her name was, but the judge that's monitoring Trump's finances and everything, and also the disgorgement of all the assets and everything. Trump can't move his money without permission. Number one. Number two, he cannot do business in New York whatsoever. No real estate business, no financial business, nothing. Zilch. Okay. Also, they're looking into his practices. I've heard one snippet. Looking into his practices on apartment management, because he did violate a number of violations in the apartment management aspect of it. Also, selling. He has to sell if he since he's required to pay those fines. He's going to have to sell his assets in order to do it, but it may not quite make up all to $500 million. And he is not allowed to raid the RNC either. He's trying to install his daughter-in-law as an assistant chair of the RNC. Well, we'll see how that goes, but I don't think that's going to happen. He had virtually, yeah. Also, he could not, what's the other one I had in mind he couldn't do? But anyway, he can't do it for 3 years and everything else. Well, I wish they hadn't done it for 3 years. Penalty on him. I wish they'd done it a lifetime ban. Period. Okay. And now they have the fraud criminal trial is coming up. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be convicted over that and will be sent to jail. And they say anywhere on those, how many counts he's done, he could spend up to 20 years to life in prison. And I hope that happens. I really do. His sons cannot do business for 4 years either. Or 3 years or 4 years or something like that. But no, correction. The each of his sons has been fined $4 million each. Okay, which is all included the $500 million total. Um, and they can't do business in New York either. Now, I don't know about Florida or anything. What each state's different when it comes to finance and everything else. New York is tougher because New York is considered the financial capital of the world, the capital of the country. Um, so we'll see where it goes from there. But Trump, all his whining and everything going on, Haba, all her whining and saying things that are not true, she could get herself into trouble for that, and she can be sanctioned. So she may find herself without a law license as well. Um, us, March 25th? Yeah, that's going to happen March 25th. You're right, Nancy. Uh, so that's been set in stone for that, the hush money thing. Um, Judge Goron had praised Michael Cohen. He feels that Michael Cohen was telling the truth on all this. And he says he feels that Michael Cohen uh, was basically framed in this. He was made the stooge. And so, in other words, the crime that Trump committed was put on Michael Cohen. He had to find it. He had to find a fall guy. Hey, Dorothy. Hi. Welcome. Um. So it's going to be interesting next 6 months. Now he had a couple of rallies, but the only rallies I've noticed with Trump when he conducts those quote unquote rallies, so-called rallies, I notice the same people are there every time. Same people, nobody different. And they're all actors. And I don't think he has any followers left. Maybe, I don't know how many there are left, and there quite a few have left. Um, and the RNC, or the MAGA GOP, uh, they're getting hammered. They're getting hit. And the replacement election that happened, special election that happened to replace George Santos, that seat flipped to Democrat in the House Republican. So the Democrats have a slim majority lead now. The Republicans don't have anybody. They don't have a majority anymore. The Republicans, okay? So it might, what might happen is there are going to be some changes made on that. So if they gained a slim majority, then I think Hakeem Jeffries should be Speaker of the House and kick out the MAGAs. They don't belong there. They really don't. They don't seem to understand what public service is and what it's about. Okay? Frankly, I think that they're how should I put this? I think their pay should be docked. In other words, they should not get paid at all. Oh, Trump has tried, he's setting up a GoFundMe fundraiser, and a lot of people are calling for that to be shut down. Because he would be committing fraud all over again. Because the money would not be going to his election thing, it would be going to pay his lawyers, if he could pay his lawyers. Anyway, We all see how this plays out. We really do. Um, let's see, anything else? But my thinking is with Trump, with him violating all kinds of court orders and everything else, they should put him in jail already. They need to take off the kid gloves and say, fine, we're going to treat you like everybody else and you're going to be no different. And you are not president of the United States anymore. You're a private citizen. So you're following our laws. Even the president of the United States has to follow our laws. So um, Trump has a real jealousy, um, paranoid attitude, if you call it that, um, insecure attitude. And he can't seem to understand people when they go for something and they build something and they build a business and they do it the right way and they are very successful at it and everything else. He gets jealous because they did everything correctly. And it depends on how big the business is, whether it's a big corporation or a little corporation. Now, the biggest one I could think of is, what's the name of it? He does more, his corporation's more philanthropy than anything. I forgot what the guy's name is. But he's also a billionaire. But he's been doing this for years. And he's done everything right. And he says what Trump did was break laws. And he says he can't stand the guy. Okay? There are a number of other billionaires that don't like Trump at all. And Trump is no longer a billionaire, pretty much. I say he's pretty much broke. He's dead broke now. Okay? His sons were saying, Trump's sons were, over the weekend, were saying they're whining and crying and everything else because their inheritance is going bye-bye. And so now they have to find a job or somehow work for themselves in another field. That's what they're going to have to do. They can't do real estate and everything else. And I swear his sons are stupider than he is. We're about in the same level. Now the other Trump kids like Tiffany and Barron and everything else, they're, of course they were not named in all this at all. It's just the two adult sons and everything else. Ivanka was dismissed because there was really nothing there. But Trump, the father, tried to dump it all on her. Well, that didn't work either. But like Tiffany's going, I don't know what her line of work she's going into, but she's looking at going a line of work after she finishes college. And then, of course, Barron, his one comment to his mom that he wants to be an architect. He doesn't want nothing to do with the quote unquote real estate business. He probably saw a lot and learned a lot and say, nope, not going to go into that. You know. So anyway, as far back to the subject of the GoFundMe thing with Trump, they're asking GoFundMe to shut it down. Okay? And I'm sure the controller, the monitors say, yeah, shut it down. So it's kind of, in some ways, it's kind of fun to watch Trump squirm. He's really gone downhill, okay? Both cognitively and everything else, he's gone down compared to when he was elected, quote unquote elected. But the guy didn't want to learn the job. And President Biden and President Obama said being president of the United States is a high pressure job. And of course, as long as you have a good team around you to help you, you'll be fine. You do okay. But with Trump, he didn't want to learn. He did not want to learn the rules. He did not want to learn how it works. And he doesn't know how the government works. He has no knowledge of how Congress works. He has no knowledge how the Supreme Court works. I don't think the guy took civics, which is required. You're supposed to take civics in school, so that needs to be taught. And of course, President Biden was a former constitutional scholar, professor in college at Delaware College, and so was President Obama. He was a constitutional professor. I think he taught at Harvard. So, yeah, all the other presidents are sitting there just shaking their head like, what is this with this guy? You know? And then trying to steal the 2020 election. Well, it's right there in black and white, recorded on TV and everything else of what he did and what he egged everybody on to do. And even some of the Secret Service that were attached to the White House said, the guy's a lunatic. Okay? He does dumb things. And I don't know what to think either. Okay? It's really stupid. And the guy's in such a deep financial hole, it's not even funny. Okay? Well, what I suggest, New York, is to seize his assets in New York. Instead of him trying to sell it, seize the assets, turn around and sell the assets, and then take the money to pay back to the citizens of New York. Do it that way. And then seize anything with Trump's name on it, any of his business, like his golf courses and everything else, and especially overseas. Tell Scotland, hey, you got that golf course over there you tried to run roughshod over you on, seize that, and you could support yourself with it. You know, I think the only role Trump would have is bathroom cleaner and ditch digger. You know, I don't think the guy has learned. The impression I get is that I don't think Trump has learned life skills at all. It was all done for him. He never learned a thing. He never learned how to do it himself, except walk. And in order to survive and learn and everything else, you have to do things yourself. I rather do things myself. Okay. And I find I'm happier doing that. Okay. The only thing I don't have strong at is math skills. My math skills are, they're kind of okay, but they're not really that super advanced. And I got kind of messed up, if you will. If you know the basic formula and everything else, and use a calculator, that's fine. Okay, I'd rather use a calculator. But sometimes, well, you should use your head, and I said I can't. I get mixed up in that. And I don't know if any of you remembered Nancy and Dorothy when you guys went through school. Were you any of you messed up by what they call the quote new math that was introduced in 1967-68 time frame? I was mixed up in that. It confused a lot of people, kids, even confused them, the teachers, like, what are these guys doing? You know, because I was, up until then, I was doing very, very well with it, okay? I was catching on, I was learning, and they say, no, oh no, you can't do it that way anymore. You have to do it this way. I go, excuse me, math, you cannot modify math. It's set that way. You know, like adding and subtracting is that way. Like 2 plus 2 is 4. You can't put out a statement in numbers and show how it comes to 4. Me is 2 plus 2 is 4, and that's it. And those guys go, no, you can't do it that way. I go, yeah, I'm going to do it that way whether you like it or not. You know. So, and the kids now are learning more and more things earlier in their age bracket. Especially the preschoolers are learning numbers and everything. Yeah, yeah. Well, and my dad was a math. Now get this, Nancy. My dad was a math major at University of Alaska when we were stationed up in Elmendorf. Okay, he was going to college, getting his math degree. And when time came around, when I was in school and learning that, I showed that to him and I said, "What are they doing?" And he looks at it like he was like, "Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me." He was not happy at all. A lot of parents were not happy because he was taught a certain way, and he goes, "Jen, you're gonna learn what I'm gonna teach you, what you need to know, and they need to stop confusing the kids." You know, yeah, it's yeah. My dad was really confused on what they were doing too. He says the maps is absolute. You cannot change it. And he says what they were doing was changing it. You can't do that. I think what it is, a lot of them don't want things done simply. More than anything. Well, anyway, it's time for me to sign off. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. And I hope you guys have a good evening. Let me check my calendar. See where I am for this coming week. Okay. Okay, I'm good. I got Ginger. Okay, I'll see you Wednesday and Friday on my chat show. I don't have anything else going on. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Invite your friends. Be sure to insist, persist, and push back. And I hope all is well. Okay? And I love you guys. Okay? Talk to you later. Oh, and I will post this on my YouTube channel as well. Take care. Bye-bye.